Good morning from my truck. I just wanted to share a couple of things that I do while I'm getting ready to start my day. My clock is going to be starting in 3 minutes. So right before that, I'm just getting some stuff ready for what I have for breakfast. So I'm having an oatmeal that I have like every day. This is the Bob's Red Mill oatmeal. This one happens to be gluten-free. I don't necessarily try to go gluten-free, but I'm just trying to eat stuff that is nutritionally dense. This has flax and chia, gluten-free whole grain oats, cane sugar, dried apple, chia seed, flaxseed, sea salt, and cinnamon. Those are the ingredients. And then you can see I've added, usually do like granola and like a mixed nuts thing. And so I go to Cermak in Chicago. And if you live in the Chicago area and you're not shopping at Cermak, I'm here to tell you you're doing it wrong. No offense. But you got to go there for the best produce that's crazy affordable and the best selection. The produce section is like 5 times the size of the Jewels. You know what I'm saying? And I always get a mix that has nuts and dried fruit. I was going to make this into a fun little montage, but I'm just making a quick video. I've had a hard time getting any video. I have a very hard time editing video. My whole thing with the way that I eat and hydrate and everything, my whole motive is to keep my digestive system healthy. Your immune system lives in your digestive system. So I do things from the breathing exercises that I do with rotational movements and deep breathing into my abdomen. From that to drinking a drink that has apple cider vinegar and fiber, like Metamucil and turmeric in it for anti-inflammatory benefit and fiber, to trying to hydrate better. That's the hardest part, which is the most important part, is hydrating. So drinking enough water, not just getting water that's in my coffee or other things. Coffee is the least beneficial thing I do for my digestive system because it's inflammatory. It causes everything to be overstimulated, which is not really healthy. It's dehydrating, all those things, not good. Caffeine is, I don't care what we all think. A little bit of caffeine is probably okay, but the caffeine, the way that we consume it, not so good. We, meaning me too. Like, man, anyway. But yeah, then I eat oatmeal that has a whole bunch more fiber in it. And my whole thing is, when you're sitting for long hours, you're automatically putting yourself at a health deficit. You're automatically harming your body, whether you like it or not. So I'm trying my best to counteract all that seated time by doing things that move my guts, which sounds gross to say, but I mean literally moves them, like in the sense of doing twisting movements that I do, which are part of Kundalini yoga exercises that involve deep breathing down to the diaphragm with twisting motions that I think are going to be good to keep my vital organs healthier, keep blood flow into those parts of my body, and also help with my spinal health, which is definitely affected by this job. I'm already having back pain every day. So this is a long story short because there's so much more I want to say, but I just want to share a couple little things that I do that I think are critical. I want to make a video sharing like my trucking must-haves, and for me, I'm focusing on my physical well-being first. So, okay, it's been over 3 minutes. It's time to start my clock and stop yammering. So that's this segment for you. Hello again, another little truck video while I wait for a load. And I'm standing just because, like, I can't sit, you know what I mean? Like, I need to stand, and it's a tendency when you're not doing anything and you don't really know what to do with yourself to just sit and wait. But the more I sit, the more pain I'm in. So I'm trying not to do that too much, not to just like be in the habit of just sitting. I am struggling with wanting to share my reality and share the honest truth about the experiences that I'm having, and also worrying about coming across as if I'm bitching. And I'm not trying to just complain, because as I always reiterate in my videos, I didn't come into the trucking business ignorant. I came in expecting it to be very hard and very frustrating because I've been listening to my dad over the years. I'm wearing my Ear Hustle shirt again, by the way. Being a little repetitive here. I hope that it doesn't come across as me being complainy or whiny, because like, this is the way it is, and it's not like it's worse for me than it is for anyone else. And if anything, it's better in some ways, because like I have said, I'm super fortunate that I have a very new truck. It was in a rollover accident and it was rebuilt, but it's a new model truck, and it's a really comfortable, nice truck. So I'm very, very fortunate to have that. I just realized I should change the display on my clock here so I can see if I do get an assignment. I'm currently in a silent standoff with dispatch, which is, I've been advised, the only way to ensure that I am on the type of hours that I want to be on. And what I've discovered is, I think because I'm newer and because I learned the hard way that you can't say anything to them or they'll get really upset with you. You just have to you just have to avoid them. There's other people that will go in and be the squeaky wheel, and like it just causes these toxic kind of situations that I'm trying really hard to avoid. I don't blame anyone and feel like they're somehow victimizing me or fucking me over or passing me over, even though I may be getting less attention than some drivers because I am not being the squeaky wheel. I'm basically in a point where I'm not willing to just sit and wait for hours before starting my clock and then be working until like 2 a.m, because nighttime pay starts at 4 p.m. So if I'm going to be making daytime pay, which is drastically lower pay, I'm not going to work until 2 a.m. I'm not willing to do it. So I'm stuck in this weird sort of limbo. In trucking, one of the things you learn is you are nothing. Like, you don't exist. You are just a cog, and they don't care about you. They don't want you to be comfortable. They don't want to accommodate you in any way. Like, they have no interest in accommodating you. That's why when you see ads, I'm saying this to people who are non-truckers. I hope I have a decent number of people who are non-truckers that watch, because I personally loved, before I was doing it, I loved watching trucker videos to just see what their lives were like. So I hope I have people like that, because that to me is like, I want to share with you what it's like for a newbie out here. But you know, that's why I think a lot of truckers get so disgusted when you read ads for jobs and it says like, we treat you like family. No, they fucking don't. None of these companies do. And I'm at a company that is known for taking on the liability of a new employee, which is huge. So I acknowledge that. I'm grateful for them taking me on and training me well. But the trade-off is, I'm not gonna make money here. The only way I would make money here is if I work nights, period. I've already accepted that. I just actually spoke earlier today with a driver who has been doing it for a year and isn't making money and is fed up. And I'm like, I already know this is how it is here. And she said her son's a driver and he's trying to talk her into getting a different job where he works for a 1099. I understand, especially now working here for a little bit, why people go to 1099s and say fuck all this, because it's like, you're dealing with the restrictions that you deal with in a corporate setting, but also you're not making money, like, bottom line. And at least in a 1099, there's a lot of bullshit you have to deal with. But if you find, like, there are a decent number of 1099 jobs out there that have new equipment. She was telling me that they have brand new trucks. That's not that uncommon, I don't think. But you might be working for people that are going to throw you under the bus if anything bad happens. And that's a major concern, you know. And also now being in a governed company truck out there, and seeing the way all these, like, not that it was totally new to me, but it's just different, I guess. Seeing the way all the independent drivers drive, some of them drive like absolute shit. Like, if you're driving a loaded flatbed or whatever, and you're tailgating other trucks, and especially you're tailgating four-wheelers, fuck you. Like, fuck you. When I see you from my truck, I want to tell you fuck you, because you're endangering those people. You're freaking them out for no reason, and they're not even going under the speed limit. You're just being a fucking asshole because you have 80,000 pounds to intimidate with. And it's not just intimidation, it's potential danger, and you don't fucking care because you want to get your extra few minutes. Like, fuck you. That I have no love for that kind of shit. I understand the drive to be like, fuck, and just like be in a rush, but like when you're intentionally tailgating people, fuck that. Have I made myself clear? I feel like a school teacher. Fuck you. I don't know where I went to school. Anywho, what else was I going to tell you? Okay, so here's another funny thing for you. Where I work out of a DC, a large distribution center for this major grocery chain. A bunch of you probably already know who I work for and what company I'm talking about, and that's fine. I don't care. But I'm not ever going to confirm or deny in comments. Maybe someday I'll talk about it, but not now. So this company can afford, like, this company has more money than God. Like, for real, it does. We currently, the way this account is set up, you don't want to get stuck out at night at a truck stop because it's only going to fuck you the next day, which I have a feeling is going to happen to me today. We have to use the shower here. The facilities here are highly inadequate for the number of people that need them. We have 2 showers per gender, and the showers currently don't have hot water and haven't for several days. I'm pretty sure that one division of the company that we deliver for sells hot water heaters, and I'm 1,000,000% sure that they could get that fixed within hours at the most. But they don't fucking care about us drivers. They don't. This company doesn't care. Not necessarily the company I work directly for, although, you know, I have my feelings about them. But the company that we're contracting with doesn't give a fuck about us. And there's so many things that are so messed up. Like, we individually as drivers, we're getting ranked in a computer system, and our higher ups at corporate are looking at that and assessing us based on that. And that can be used to determine things like raises. Well, guess what? Every time I go to deliver to one of these stores, I am at the mercy of these fucking employees. And a lot of these employees honestly suck. And I say that with compassion because they probably aren't getting paid that well, and they're doing a hard job and whatever, they're understaffed. I really feel for them on that, in that sense. But they fuck us hard, and they don't know that. They don't know. Even if they did, maybe they wouldn't care. But it's like yesterday, one of these stores, it took them an hour to unload half of my trailer, which was like 14 pallets. It took them an hour to unload me. And that just ate my day. I had the other half of the trailer drop off, and came back to the DC, got another trailer, and I had 2 more drop offs after that. And the thing is, that kills us. Like, when we have an unload that takes a long time, we're not driving, we're not making those miles. And it sounds stupid for me to even say it. Anyone who's watching is like, duh, you know. Mileage pay shouldn't be legal. It's crazy. And just to illustrate for you, I'm working something like 60 to 70 hours a week, and I'm making less than $15 an hour if you break it down hourly. And granted, I'm not as efficient with my time as I could be, so that's part of it. I'm, you know, honest about that. Also, it's just there's all these variables that I have no control over. I don't control construction traffic. I don't control receivers that are slower than molasses, understaffed, poor attitude, have one working pallet jack that only goes like super slow, and they can't help it because it's all they have. So we are forced to make less money, and our company is just looking at essentially an algorithm to assess us. And it doesn't say in there, employees at this store took an hour to unload while I stood there like willing everything to go faster. You know, it's ethical garbage that we are put in this position and we work as hard as we do. And a lot of people don't understand because they think, well, you just sit and drive all day. How hard is that? But you don't understand. When you're glued to a seat that you don't have a choice to be moving out of, your whole body hurts. Your back hurts, your hips hurt, you get tight in your chest and shoulders because you're sitting over the wheel, and you can try to make your shit ergonomic and pay attention to your posture and keep straightening yourself up and all this stuff, but you're just sitting and you're stuck that way. And then one last thing I'll say, and I feel like I'm kind of harping, but I'm just telling you guys the real deal. So I'm not sitting here saying, oh, woe is me, because I can walk away, right? And I have a lot of privilege. I could go back to my job in the city and work 3 days a week and make the same money I'm working now. And I would only be working like 7-hour shifts, by the way. Doing something I enjoy, that's fun, with people I love working with. I could be making that money. Although no benefits. That's kind of significant. Let's not downplay that. But I could walk away. I'm very fortunate. I'm very educated. There's a number of different things I could do. I'm choosing to do this. So I don't sit here and say, woe is me. There's a lot of people who are a lot less fortunate than me, who don't have the type of privilege that I have, who are doing this job and feel stuck in it. And the way these companies get away with fucking us over as drivers is criminal. It should not be legal. It makes me want to get into organizing. I'm not even talking about unionizing. I'm talking bigger picture. Like, it makes me want to organize people to lobby Congress and change the laws about trucking, because the laws that enable this shit to happen are put there by people who profit from our labor. Sorry, I'm going on a whole thing. Someone called me in another video. They called me Comrade Jana, and I thought they were insulting me, but I guess they were complimenting me. So fuck it, I'll take it. I think democratic socialism is a smart way to go because, you know, we all benefit from socialist things like Social Security, which won't exist by the time I'm old enough to use it. But I digress. Rant, tangent, rangent. I just wanted to say one thing that I was going to say a minute ago. I was speaking with an older driver. This guy talks kind of openly about his health issues. He's got diabetes, he has heart disease, he's morbidly obese. I don't say that as a judgment. It is an actual diagnosis, morbid obesity, meaning obesity that is deadly, and doesn't get around well, I'm sure, and everything. And he said something that made me almost cry. He said something that my dad has said a number of times. Another gentleman asked him, how's your life going? And he said, it's passing me by, without skipping a beat, it's passing me by. And that just gripped me. And it's because the thing that we all take for granted when we go to these stores and we buy these cheap things, first of all, nothing is cheap. We don't think about the cost. The cost is a human cost. The people like that gentleman and like my dad who have given their lives to this profession, and life passes you by because when you're sitting in that seat, the way that time flies is something that you can't even explain. It feels like being in a time machine, and you're not getting paid that much, and you're giving up your health and you're giving up time with your family. And we owe these men and women who've been doing this for a lot longer than I have so much respect and reverence because they keep us fed, you know? So I'm not going to say sorry for feeling emotional about it because it is hard to think about life passing this man by and him giving up his health for this. For what? For what? And my dad too. So this is why this shit matters. This is why people like me talking about it is important, because we need to explain to people who don't know what it's really about. And I'm just scratching the surface. I would love to hear any comments on your experiences. If you're a driver, a longtime driver, I'd like to hear about your experiences, how you feel, how your body feels, the time, your experience of time, the time machine effect, and what your thoughts are about the ethics of what we're all doing here. Because I don't want to be the only person talking about that. I want this to be a bigger conversation. That's a big reason why I made this channel. This day has gone from moderately frustrating to completely fucking, I'm over it, I want to walk away and quit today. It's like that. It's that kind of day. I'm summoning all of my chutzpah to push through. Because you know what? When I put it in perspective, it ain't that fucking bad. It's just this shit. I just want to show you what I'm eating today. This is one of the things when I make a video talking about what I recommend, like my must-haves for my truck. This is a KitchenAid cup that came with this little mixer that I have, this hand, like immersion blender. And these are baby carrots, grapes, seedless red grapes, and some raw greens. And I put this in my cup holder because it's an easy way. It's a snack and it holds a bunch of stuff. It's 3 cups. It's the perfect size to get a lot of stuff in. And then I have a sandwich here. It's this Polish sunflower bread that I get from Cermak with natural crunchy peanut butter and honey and a sprinkle of salt, a sprinkle of kosher salt, which really everything should have. Everything should be properly seasoned, including peanut butter sandwiches. Especially if you buy like unsalted, healthy shit like I do. Anyway. This is what we're doing to get through today. Healthy food, hydrating, and breathing. Sometimes that's all you got. That's all I got today. just film a quick little end of week, end of video. Some of the footage in this video is from last week, so it's been like that lately. It's been very difficult for me to have time to film or especially edit video. It's been difficult to airdrop stuff because a lot of times when I do have internet, it's really spotty, so that's been kind of tough. But I really want to keep making content and getting it out there, and hopefully I'll get in a rhythm that will enable me to do that. Part of it is just trying to keep my videos on the shorter side because then it's much quicker for me to edit them. I don't want to probably rehash a lot of the stuff that I already talked about in this video. Just sort of the takeaway for me from this week is I really just have to work hard to take things in stride, because a lot of the frustrations, or maybe all of the frustrations that I'm dealing with, are just totally common or universal for new drivers. The industry is not set up in favor of drivers at all, and that's why the turnover is so extreme. It's because it's just, there's a part of you when you're doing it that you constantly are questioning yourself, because you're like, you realize that it's not rational, because for some people, they can make the money that they want to make, and at least where I'm at, those are really only the overnight people, and everybody who's during the day is kind of fighting over scraps, it feels like. Just a really icky, competitive type of energy. I never enjoy being in environments like that, but that's just the nature of the beast. It's not even probably just that environment. It's more of a universal truth. It's just, pay people what they're worth. Pay people what they deserve for keeping the country moving. The fact that these companies get away with not doing that is wrong. It's just wrong. So I'll keep saying that because it's true, and not because I'm trying to harp or complain or be negative or feel sorry for myself, because I don't feel sorry for myself. I feel, let me just say this, and I'm sure this will make sense to some of you. I went to school for journalism. My degree is in journalism. I spent some time working as a reporter. I loved it. I love interviewing people, and I love taking information that I learn about a subject that I just interviewed a handful of people about or whatever, and then making it into a concise, well-edited piece that can convey a lot of information in a small amount of space. That's something I love. This, I have the freedom to make it a little bit longer, so I do sometimes, but part of the reason why I love journalism and why I wanted to be a part of it is because I've always wanted to be somewhat of a muckraker. And if you don't know what that means, it basically means a shit stirrer of shit. Sorry, someone's pulling into their garage here. I'm on an alley. I have a great deal of respect for all those hardworking journalists out there who, despite the current climate that is really unfortunate, makes it difficult for them to just exist and do their jobs. If it wasn't for them, we would so be in the dark, and we would so be getting fucked, and so many things are better because of journalism. But in as much as I'm not a journalist, but I'm a vlogger talking about the real life experience of truck driving. When I see bullshit, I'm gonna call it bullshit, and I think everybody should do that, because if more of us speak out on things that are ethically bankrupt, bordering on criminal, then maybe so many of us wouldn't be so angry. One of the major reasons why we're so divided is because we live in an inequitable system that forces us to compete against each other for crumbs. And if we stopped looking at each other as enemies so much and as competition, and instead looked at the people who are profiting off of us struggling, things could change. Anyway, that's about all I got. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.